Hello, I'm Lisa Bowerman and I play Bernie Summerfield, and welcome to Audio Heads podcast.
Hello, my friends and neighbors and global watchers. This is Audio Heads, like from Geeks Assembled. Audio Heads, you know us. And we have four fellows here, and today we're doing Missy. Pick her nose. She is in in some early English, not early.
Tudor England.
Tudor England, and she's with some various and sundry famous people, and one who's sort of famous in our fandom. So anyway, glad that you're here. It's called Missy, divorced, beheaded, and regenerated. And so without further ado, let's find out what these fellows are found about this and let them. And because I haven't seen him in a really long time, how about let's start with Tim Wells. What do you think of divorced, beheaded, and regenerated?
Well, the title's misleading because none of those things happen. But otherwise, it's a great story. It's a lot of fun. It's just like, I don't know. It's like you put two people in a room and they just talk back at each other, you know. Rufus Hound is great. I really like him as the monk. And, of course, Gomez is always wonderful as Missy. And they've really given her an opportunity here to shine, I think. This is straight up comedy. And the idea that they're, you know, running around as Henry VIII, you know, in between marriages or whatever. It's a lot of fun. It's written by John Dorney, who's really an asset at Big Finish these days. He's really come up through the company, and he writes a lot of the best stuff, and he acts very well as well. So it's just an hour of fun. I didn't know until this morning that this is what we were doing, so I said, well, I better listen to it. I haven't listened to it yet, and it was I didn't get to listen to the first part of this box set. This is number 2, but I had a great time listening to it. I thought it was very fun.
Sweet. And Beef Dad, what were? Oh no, you're taking a drink. Oh, you're good. Okay. So, what was your opening thoughts, please?
Oh, I absolutely loved it. It was great fun, and of course the return of the Meddling Monk, who was one of the early first Doctor stories, and yeah, Rufus Hound did a brilliant job of it. I like the way he had Henry VIII locked in his TARDIS. That was just so good and so outrageous. And of course, she was talking to Michelle Gomez is just brilliant. She is just so funny and so clever. And of course, she was chatting away to Catherine Parr, who ended up being the last wife of Henry VIII, and she was the one that survived. Because you've got divorced, beheaded, died, divorced, beheaded, survived, and Catherine Parr was the one that survived at the end. But she had been married before she married Henry VIII. And yeah, it was brilliant about when she was trying to get him. He was pretending to be Henry VIII, and she sussed him out and asked him to play the piece of music that he'd written. And so he plays the wedding march. He has the wedding march played, but what he actually wrote was Green Sleeves. so he gave himself away. And of course, at the end, he gets left stranded in Tudor England by Missy. And when you consider that he'd been there since 1066 when he was stranded there by the Doctor. Brilliant story, and superbly executed by all the actors.
Thanks. And Lee, since you chose this out of the box set, please, let us know the what kind of why you chose this and what preceded it and followed it, and what you thought of this to begin with.
Well, as I say, there's four stories in the box set, and you don't really have to listen to them in order. They're not really they're not connected. They're like 4 separate stories. And this one, Divorced, Beheaded, Regenerated, when I listened through the box set, stood out for me for the the two-header between Rufus Hound and Michelle Gomez. They work so well together against each other. I mean, I'm not a big fan of Missy in the TV series, but this, as Tim said, has given her so much more to do. And she does shine in this. And Rufus Hound playing the third incarnation of the Monk. We had Graham Garden a few years ago in the 8th Doctor stories.
And was it Paul Butterfield or something?
Peter Butterworth on TV.
Peter Butterworth. I'm sorry, I got the name wrong.
But the way this audio works, the comedy, and I kept thinking, Meddling Monk played by Peter Butterworth. This was like Carry On Missy. It was just sort of an audio carry on. The way the double entendres, the innuendos, and the fact that he wanted to marry, forced into marriage, didn't want to marry, forced into marriage, sort of thing. It's a good. For me, this is the standout story in the books. I mean, the stories are good, but for me, this is the best one. Personally, this is the best one in the box set. But as we always say, you decide which one you prefer. But this one for me is the best. And I agree, John Dorney is brilliant. Writing, directing, acting for Big Finish. But they've got a few people like that these days, and you just turn the hand to anything now. Rufus Hound, brilliant as the Monk. I mean, he's played the Monk in the 8th Doctor stories as well. I think, was it Dun Coalition or something like that? He was in that.
Well, I remember him being there, but I don't remember him playing the Monk. Maybe it's because I was confused.
No,
he did a 2nd Doctor story as well, the Early Adventures,
yeah,
and a couple of trips.
Yeah, I think it was called the Black Hole. I think. He was in the 8th Doctor story. I think it was the one with the Weeping Angels in it. I can't remember if I was that's right. But Rufus Hound, totally. I mean, it's a different incarnation of the Monk, but you still get that as Missy keeps saying, meddling. But he's not a monk, but you're meddling. It's just to annoy him, and that's the way the way they were backwards and forwards with each other was just brilliant, well written, well acted. I do prefer Michelle Gomez as Missy on audio to TV, because I think you get away with a lot more on audio, and it works a lot better for me personally.
Well, if I could just say, your point is, though, because she's not with the Doctor, basically. She's not limited to Doctor Who as well. I mean, the show, what they can do more, like the innuendo you were speaking of. It's very funny, and you can do that with audio, whereas you might not get away with that on TV so much. And I think because it's her show, also, she's not the guest villain. It's her show, even though this story in particular feels like it's the Monk show and she's invading it. But I mean, it is a lot of fun, like you said. I think you're right. Stepping out of the shadow of the TV series gives her a lot more room to be entertaining.
Yeah, totally agree. Over to you, Susan.
Yeah, double act. I mean, it was like Robert Holmes could have written it. John Doney, yeah, hooray for that. But you know, that great double act thing that happens, and Robert Holmes could have written it. It was fun, and I love the parts where I love the parts in the throne room where they're back and forth, and then where they have where they are getting married. I thought that was really funny, and I love that they used the Mendelssohn instead of, you know, the green sleeves that he wrote. Anyway, that was I thanks Jeffrey for reminding me of that. And yeah, so how about your favorite moments? And let's reverse order. Let's go Lee first.
Well, so many. I mean, there's so many. It's just the wordplay with Missy and the monk, but also where he's forced to sing that song, and he sings "I'm Henry VIII, I am," which was quite comedy gold. That yeah, you can see his torment when he realizes he's trapped again on Earth because of another Time Lord. He wants revenge on the Doctor. Wants revenge on the Master. It's. But I do like the where he tries to force her to marry him after he's given up, refusing marriage, and then it all turns out it was her planning the beginning. Some forethought has gone into this. Planning ahead is what she's doing. It's great. It's great the way it turns out. All the way along, he was played. He wasn't playing her; she was playing him, which was just great. Yeah, brilliant. It's just from beginning to end. There's little bits here and little bits there what really do stand out, and the acting is just marvelous. It's just brilliant.
Yeah, and Beef Dad Jeffrey, please.
Well, when Missy criticises him, she has a go at him for not knowing the green sleeves music. When he was questioned, when he was asked by Catherine, and he turns around and says he didn't expect a pub quiz. That just absolutely creased me up. And the reaction to the vortex manipulator was also funny. I liked that as well. But the whole thing, the way they worked together during the whole thing just made it completely magical, very, very funny. And yes, as Lee said, very much just carry on Missy. Very, very clever, very funny.
All right, so Texas, what did you think of, or what was your favorite moments, please?
Well, what I particularly like about Rufus Hound's Monk is that he never wins, for one thing. He always loses. And it's like he always manages to play it just on the verge of hysteria, like when he's ends up being completely befuddled, usually by the Doctor. But I mean, he always ends up begging the Doctor for help. And in this case, I mean, it's like in other words, he always goes too far. His plots never work out, and he always loses. So for Missy to pull that off as well is just great. The way it ends with him just like foiled again, it's very cartoony, and it's like it's been pointed out. It's a funny story. It's very funny. The two of them are just really quick with the dialogue, and it's very, very fast paced and well written.
Yep. So I guess my favorite moment was in the part where he is trying to he's trying to play her and she is playing him. And I like that. I like that that I see that dynamic and the time like how he wants to change history, how he's always, you know, trying to affect a change in what he's doing right then to change something in the future. That's always fun. But the fact that Missy knows where she is, where she's going to use him. I mean, she uses him. She basically uses him, and then and it's. I mean, she's sort of. It's sort of hilarious. I mean, it's she hasn't turned good yet. That's for crying out loud. And so, yeah, I enjoyed this a lot. I thought that she was. I hate to disagree with Lee, but I am going to disagree with him again. I enjoy her a lot in the television shows. She is properly bonkers and super snarky and villainous. You know, when she killed Osgood or whatever, I was like quite beside myself because Osgood became one of my faves. But so she didn't actually like murderize anybody in this one, but you know, she could have, you know. And so Missy is a good. Were you going to start arguing with me, Lee?
No, all I was going to say.
You were. Look at this.
What I was going to say was, for me, the Master was not a loopy as portrayed by Michelle Gomez, because she portrays it as loopy. He was a maniacal. He wanted power. He wanted this. He wanted that. He wasn't loopy. You know what I mean?
Well, he was just a little bit when he was all fried to a crisp. He was a bit loopy then.
Oh yeah.
And then
no, I'm saying I think the loopiness was overplayed by the end of it, and it sort of overdid it for me. That's what I'm not keen on. But it works so well with this two-hander sort of thing. That's what I was going to say.
Okay, but John Sim was bonkers. I mean,
and I didn't like him either. Sorry.
Oh, okay. Well, anyway, so
what about the bald one that was introduced in what was it?
Alex McQueen?
Yeah, Alex McQueen.
Yeah, he doesn't play him loopy.
Not
he plays
really.
him sinister-ish.
But you don't know when he slots in. So the Master may just be going from, you know, sinister and sane and suave as hell in Delgado's all the way up to completely
We don't know.
out
We
of
don't
his
know.
corner.
Shouldn't even try to set up a timeline for the Master because there isn't one. And secondly, it's all show about time travel, so we'll never know. Hopefully, because Delgado may not be the first.
Well, apparently not in Big Finish he isn't.
There you go.
Yeah.
Because we've got James Dreyfus.
True.
Mm-hmm.
And we've enjoyed talking about him. So this is awesome. Let's is there anything else we want to talk about? Go ahead and
Well, I thought it was interesting that they kind of point out that this is post-Time War and post-Gallifrey returning. I thought that was kind of cool in a way because they really need to get past this Time War stuff. It doesn't work as a thing. It's something that you can only play in the margins and tell stories with. You really can't do it because it's about time travel. and it would finish before it started. So I mean, it's cool that that's something of the past that they're hinting at least as far as this story goes. These guys are after that, and the monk is actively trying to get the attention of the Time Lords by marrying Missy because he wants to do something. I forget what that was, but it was just like it's a very cleverly plotted story.
Yeah, and she was actually like, you know, she had set him up to do that very thing to begin with. Yeah. So
Yeah, he was meddling with history to change the people what Henry VIII married.
yes.
Yeah, a simple plot.
Yes.
It didn't go according to plan.
It was a bit better than that silly Magna Carta plot from before, but there you go.
That was quite silly. And then they end up in Egypt. Anything else, Beef Dad?
No, I think we've covered it all, and it's just hysterical.
Would you like to?
Well written, brilliantly directed, brilliantly acted. It's just a superb piece of work.
Would you score it, please, Ben?
Yeah, I could do.
Thank you.
Oh, all right then. Well, you can guess the 10.
Sweet. And Lee then, please?
I'm going to give it 10 vacuum-packed civilians out of 10.
Awesome.
If anybody's listening to the audio, they know what I'm on about.
Yeah. And Tim, what would you give it?
Yeah, I would also agree that this is definitely a 10 because it's entertaining from start to finish.
Awesome. And I will agree with these three. I hate to make it, lopsided or whatever. But anyway, I love Missy, and I'm really glad that we have had a chance to start these. I think that she is really cool. And I think that Michelle Gomez is really cool, and I just wish her all the luck in the world with Riverdale, even though, Luke Perry died. But, and Sabrina that she's doing now. So she's doing a lot. She's really cool. Oh my gosh, you guys, she's so cool. Anyway, come back and listen to another one of our podcasts. Stay tuned. This week we're doing 2001, and what's the other one that we're doing?
Aquaman.
Oh, Aquaman. Mr. Fishy.
He talks to fish.
Ronan Dex from Stargate Atlantis. But anyway, so yeah, really fun, and we will continue to do Missy for a while, or maybe no, we'll just jump around. Hey, there's an idea. We're gonna jump around because that's the way it's gonna be, and I will say something nice. I will say, you are a great audience. You are really empowering to us. We enjoy doing podcasts for you. I hope that you enjoy podcasts that we do. And Beef Dad is amazing. Please join our Facebook fan club of him. He is going to be at Time Lash. He's brilliant. And so thanks for watching, and toodaloo.